9 News.
Hey, happy Monday. Thanks so much for joining us here on 9 News Plus. I'm meteorologist Chris Bianchi. You've got a busy weather forecast ahead for you coming up for the holiday week. We're going to get, well, today, tomorrow, hey, things mostly fine. It's Wednesday and Thursday. We're going to see some huge changes and what will likely end up being our coldest day in over 30 years coming up on Thursday. I don't say that lightly. Let's take a look outside, though. Right now, that cold is still a ways off. Lots of sunshine, a beautiful sunrise this morning thanks to some lenticular clouds. In fact, I was actually out in my morning run and saw some of those lenticular clouds, and it was just gorgeous out there this morning. And we'll see maybe a few of those mountain wave clouds kicking back in later on today. But for the most part, should be a nice day. Get outside because today and tomorrow will be our last tolerable days, at least until the upcoming weekend. We'll explain all that for you, but strap on in. Roller coaster ride gets going starting Tuesday and Wednesday. It's mild for today and tomorrow, probably Wednesday as well. We'll get some downsloping winds, so we're going to see temperatures perhaps get as close as 50 degrees on Wednesday before we drop down below zero Wednesday night. It'll stay that way for a good 36 hours or so, and then front range snow possible for us on your Wednesday night into your Thursday morning. Looks like a few inches possible for us in the Denver area. HD Doppler radar not showing much right now. What you're seeing in the eastern plains, that's a combination of that snowpack left over from last week's blizzard and also a few mountain wave clouds pushing the way on through the region. Kind of interesting to see that on HD Doppler radar. Forecast, though, we are calm for today and most of tomorrow. It's not until late tomorrow night after dark that we'll see some of that snow first develop for us along I-70 and points north of there. So if you're traveling through the mountains, you're okay today. You're okay through the day tomorrow. And after dark tomorrow night is when we'll start to see some of those snow showers push the way into the region. Now, what we're seeing here into the mountains, fascinating. What you're seeing there, look at Buena Vista at 33, Leadville at 20. Leadville is at 10,000 feet, and then you go down to about 7,800 feet, and Kremling -9. What we've got is right now is an inversion in place. An inversion is a lid of warm air above the surface. Normally, as you go on up in the atmosphere, temperatures get colder, but sometimes you get what is called an inversion. And that's what you're seeing there in Kremling. At the surface, it's actually much colder than it is just above the surface, and that lid of warm air leading to warmer temperatures in some of those higher elevation locations like Leadville, Buena Vista, Telluride, Grand Junction. That's a different factor in there, but those valley locations like Gunnison, Kremling, and Steamboat Springs, where that cold air is draining down into, and that's why it's so cold in some of those locations. Today, mid-40s for us. That is seasonal. That's actually just about exactly where we should be for this time of year. Light winds, though in the foothills, could get a little breezy at times for us. Winds could gust up to 20, 25 miles an hour for us in the foothills tonight. It's not all that warm, but we do have increasing clouds. Temperatures drop back into the teens. Now, when all, breaks loose, that'll be Wednesday night into your Thursday and for your Friday morning. That's when we're going to see those wind chills as low as -50. -50. For context, I was looking this up in the last couple of hours. Denver's records only go back to 1975, to be clear, but since records go back for us here in Denver, we have not hit a wind chill as low as -45. And so we've not hit a -50 wind chill. The wind chill watch issued by the Weather Service calls for wind chills as low as -50 for us from Wednesday night through Friday morning. So there's a pretty good chance we're going to be talking about our lowest wind chill on record. That means for many of us, what we'll be experiencing later this week will be our coldest temperatures on record. Until then, though, hey, look at this, 42 degrees for us on your Tuesday, so that'll feel like Maui compared to what we get on your Wednesday night, Thursday, and into your Friday morning. Highs tomorrow, still pretty seasonal, a little bit below average for most of us, but again, right around where we should be or what you would expect to be for this time of the year. Now, it's on Wednesday afternoon when the cold front moves its way on through. That'll be accompanied by some snow starting up somewhere between about 4 and 8 p.m. on your Wednesday night. It goes from north to south, and as that cold front pushes its way off to the south, we'll see some of that snow develop for us. First, again, northern Colorado, Fort Collins, and Greeley, Steamboat Springs as well. Then for the Denver area, and keep this in mind for those of you that are traveling on Wednesday night and your Thursday morning, little inside tip, if you have the option to move your flight a little earlier on your Wednesday, I would do that, because that snow is not only going to disrupt us here in Denver, it's going to lead to some big issues across the country as well. So if you have the option, get that flight done a little bit earlier if you can. If you work remote, something like that, get that done a little earlier here on your Wednesday. We will likely see delays. Probably not a ton of cancellations for us on Wednesday night, at least not directly from us here in Denver, but just keep in mind that we will see snow, and probably a couple inches of snow for us Wednesday night into your Thursday morning before this pushes on out of here, and that gives way to that brutally cold day on your Thursday. First things first though, snowfall amounts for us into the mountains. We could get a fair few inches of snow for us, especially along north of I-70. This system looks to favor northern Colorado once again. Then we'll get a little bit of snow south of I-70 again. This will favor our northern mountains for us. And most of that snow that you're seeing on your screen comes Wednesday night and Thursday morning. Closer look in here at the Front Range and the Denver area. And I think about a good 1 to 3, 1 to 4, 2 to 4 inches worth of snowfall seems to be a fair bet for most of us across the metro area. The highest totals will likely be into the foothills west of town. And then that 7-day forecast, the real story though. Look at that on your Thursday. A high temperature of -5 degrees. We have not had a high temperature below 0 since early 2014. So this will be, in that metric, our coldest day in almost 9 years. Our low temperature, notice that -18 on Friday morning. We have not hit a low temperature of -20 since 1990. And I mentioned that wind chill factor. So the way I'm going to kind of summarize this, and the reason I'm saying this, I know this is harsh. There's a good chance that Thursday will be our coldest day in town in over 30 years. If you're 31 or 32 and you lived in Denver all your life or the Front Range, there's a good chance you will not have experienced a day as cold as what we're going to get coming up on your Thursday. And I don't say that lightly. The reason I am saying that in part is, one, the forecast supports it. What we're seeing all the numbers in terms of wind chill, high temperature, low temperature, it all adds up to this likely being our coldest day in all those metrics since 1990. Number two, I want to get this across and be very clear about this, that Thursday's cold is not just, oh, it's December, it's almost Christmas, it's a midwinter day, or it's actually technically not winter yet, but you get my point, right? It's not just another cold winter day. This is extreme. This is something we haven't seen in decades here. So just please plan appropriately. Again, I'm not trying to scare you or overhype this or anything like that. I just want to get the messaging across. This is not just another cold winter day. Don't do, make sure you got all that winter preparedness. So, your pipes, make sure your pets on your Thursday are spending very limited time outdoors. I got a dog. She will be going outside, go for her potty break, and she'll come back inside. That'll be it. Car batteries, things like that. Make sure that you got all that sort of stuff prepared for. Hopefully we're not talking about any serious issues, but again, just keep in mind here, folks, that we are talking about a very dangerously cold day on your Thursday. Again, every metric that you can think of, this will likely be our coldest day in over 30 years. So just keep that in mind. And by the way, by the weekend, hey, we're going to be back up into the 40s, 50s. So good news is this is a real kind of 36 to 48 hours worth of extreme cold. So less than 2 days worth of extreme cold, and then we'll be done with it. So yeah, just get through less than 2 days of extreme cold, and then by the weekend, and by the way, for Christmas, it looks pretty nice here. So that's the good news, but the bad news, of course, the extreme cold and also some potentially major travel disruptions Wednesday night and Thursday. And the Thursday travel disruptions will be because in the Midwest, it's going to be snowing like crazy in places like Chicago, Indianapolis. Firsthand, I'm supposed to fly to Indianapolis on Friday morning. Good luck to me. But anyways, that's another story for another day. But in the meantime, again, just stay safe, and we'll have more coming up at 9 News at noon. I'll have another update for you coming up at 9 News, right here on 9 News Plus at 2 o'clock. And then Chief Meteorologist Kathy Sabin's back in at 4 and 5 today, and Meteorologist Lauren Robinson's in at 6, 9, 10 tonight on the 9 News Family Network. So we got you covered all day, all night long, and we'll get through it. It's just going to be a little less than 2 days worth of extreme cold. Once again, I'm Meteorologist Chris Bianchi. Thanks for joining us here on 9 News Plus.
This one was on Robb Street.